the Always Believe house. Oh, today we're going to continue working with word problems that are inequalities, and we're going to graph the solution sets. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, let's get rocking and rolling, and a magical whiteboard appears, and we have the worksheet pulled up for you. And this is the second assignment. You'll have a test on Thursday, okay? And I'll have you prepared for that. So number one, okay, on number 1 and 2, you'll need to write this down. Number 1 and number 2 are going to be gx plus s and total. Okay? So number 1 and 2, we're only going to have one equation. We're going to have a gx plus s, a growing number, starting number, greater than or equal to a total. So let's look at number 1. See if you can read through it. There's 3 numbers. One's a growing number, one's a starting number, and one's a total. Okay? So the first one, the starting number, is going to be the 450 in it. That's how much you start off with. Okay, so that's our starting number. Now then the growing number, next one's kind of easier to find. That's your rate. Okay, she withdraws $20. That's going to be our growing number. And she wants to end up with at least 200. That's going to be our total. And that at least is going to turn into an inequality in it. So we're going to write down gx plus s and then the total. It's either going to be a greater than or less than on this. Let's write our equation. The $20 is not growing our money. She's spending the 20 bucks in it. So negative 20x plus, we start off with $450, and we want to end up with more than 200 or at least 200, so that's greater than or equal to. So negative 20x plus 450 has to be at least 200 bucks. So the money we have has to end up with being more than the 200, which is going to be the total in this case. Now then, let's solve this for x, and x is going to equal to the weeks, right? How many weeks can we spend money and still have above 200 bucks? So we're going to move the 450 over. So we'll have negative 20x greater than or equal to negative 250. Now then we'll divide by the negative 20, and when we divide by a negative, we're going to flip, right? So we're going to end up with x less than or equal to 12.5. Now then, you got to think, are we going to round up or are we going to round down? If we round up, that's going to go to 13 weeks in it. At 13 weeks, we're going to have more, we will spend more money, won't we? So we'll go under the 200. So we will not round up, we will round down. So our final answer will be x less than or equal to the 12 in it. So at 12 weeks, that's how many weeks we can spend. On the 13th week, we're going to go under the 200. So to draw this, draw a number line, write down x and write down weeks. We're going to start off with 0, and we're going to go to the 12, and we could spend between these amount of monies, right? So this right here would be our solution set, wouldn't it? So from 0 to 12, we can spend the $20 a week and not go over. On the 13th week, it's going to be too much. Now then, let's go to number 2. Number 2, we're going to have the same thing. We're going to have a gx plus s and a total. You're going to graph a number line, call it x, and on this one right here, the x is going to be the number of people. Okay? The x will be the number of people. We're going to have a growing number, a starting number, and a total, okay? Fun stuff. So the starting number right here is the $50 flat fee, and then we pay $4 per person. So this is our starting amount, this is our growing number, or our rate, and this right here will end up being our total, won't it? And we have no more than 100. That means we have to have less than 100. Now then, I'm going to let you solve this on your own. You're going to graph it the same way. Remember, at the end, you're going to round up or down. It's going to be another decimal answer. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is going to be different because we're going to have 2 equations. So we need to label the x and the y. This will be a system of equations here. Sarah is selling bracelets and earrings. That's going to be your x and y. The bracelets cost $2 and the earrings cost $3. So x and y. And she needs to make at least 60. That's going to be our total. So this is our money equation, right? So our money equation is going to be, and write down x and y. X is going to be the bracelets. Y will be the earrings. Ho, 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 ho. So X is the bracelets, Y is the earrings, and then we're going to write down our money equation. So I'm going to put a money symbol, and let's write down all the money here. So $2 for a bracelet, $3 for an earring, has to be at least is more than 60 bucks, right? And it could be equal to. $60 is at least 60 bucks, right? So we could have a greater than or equal there, right? Now then, Sarah knows she will sell more than 10 bracelets. So bracelets is X, so X is going to be more than 10. These will be our two equations, okay? Now then, on the first equation, let's find the slope, the x-intercept, and the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to write down M for my slope, and remember, it's negative A over B in it. Okay, these equations work out real nice. So our slope on this one is going to be negative 2 over 3. Then let's write down x-intercept and y-intercept. Remember, the x-intercept is going to be C over A, and the y-intercept is C over B. And remember, your standard form is AX plus BY equals C. That's where all that comes from. You should know all that information. Okay, so if I take 60 and divide by 2, I'll get 30. So my x-intercept's 30. 60 divided by 3 is 20. Okay, so I know that the two intercepts will be 30 and 20, and my slope will be negative 2 over 3. You can kind of see that these graphs, this is kind of hard because you got to set up your scales here. You can't go by ones, the graphs aren't big enough. But X will be the bracelets, so let's put bracelets at the bottom. Let's put earrings for Y. Make sure you label your axes or it'll be wrong. Now then, my x-intercept's 30, my y-intercept's 20, and I'm going to make every 4 of these a 10. You can kind of see that every 4 is kind of like darker. So I'm going to do every 4 being 10. Okay, so my x-intercept is 30, so I'm going to put a dot at 30. My y-intercept is 20, put a dot at 20. And then I'm going to go down 2 and over 3. I'm just going to go straight through and connect. And then this needs to be greater than, right? So I need to shade up, don't I? Because my y is positive. So everything above this line is going to be at least 60 bucks. Anything below the line will be less than 60 bucks. Now that I'm going to graph my next one, I'm going to graph X greater than 10. So I need to sell more than 10 bracelets. So I need a dashed line on the x-axis at 10. So I'm going to draw a dashed line on the x-axis at 10. And I need to be more than 10, and it's going to shade to the right in it. So the part that's going to work, the part down here won't work. Remember, we got 4 parts. Let me order them. So part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Part 3 is the part that's going to work in it. Okay, so if you have a highlighter, you could shade that whole part in, right? So everything in here would work with it. Okay? So all the parts, in all the ordered pairs in part 3, you're going to have more than 60 bucks and you're going to sell more than 10 bracelets. Oh, let's go to number 4. Number 4 and 5 are the same kind of problems. I'm going to set them up, let you graph them, okay? So on number 4, okay, find out what your X and a Y is. So one package of wings, that's our X, and the hot dogs are Y. So write down X equals wings. Y equals hot dogs. Let's go ahead and label our axis, wings and hot dogs. Okay, this is our money equation. So the money equation is going to be 8x plus 5y is less than 40. So he cannot spend over 40 bucks. Once he gets to 40, he's out of money. Now then, Jason knows he will be buying at least 4 pounds of hot dogs. Hot dogs is Y, so Y has to be at least greater than or equal to 4. So these are our two equations. So let's get our slope. Our slope on this line would be negative 8 over 5, right? The x-intercept would end up being 40 divided by 8 is 5. The y-intercept would be 40 divided by 5 is 8. All of the problems on this worksheet work out real simple. And then y is greater than or equal to 4, okay? I'm going to let you graph this. Remember, this line will be dashed on it. So make sure you draw that, and I would do these by ones, okay? So right here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 4, 8, 12, 16. Just graph the lines, and then you'll find the order pair. One of the parts will work. I'm going to let you do that on your own. Number 5, same kind of problem. So find your X and Y. The boys' soccer club is selling cars, so X is going to be cars. The girls' soccer club is selling candles. Y is going to be equal to candles. And then our money equation will be 2X plus 4Y, and it has to be more than 800. So this is going to be kind of big because the X and Y intercepts are going to be in the hundreds. And then the girls expect to sell at least 100 candles, and the candles is Y, so Y has to be greater than or equal to 100. Now then, what I'm going to do, let's find our slope and our X and Y intercept. So our slope on this one would be negative 2 over 4, which is going to be negative 1/2. Our x-intercept would be 800 divided by 2, which is 400. And our y-intercept is 800 divided by 4, which is 200. Okay, so we have our x-intercept, our y-intercept, we have our slope, and on the other one we're just going to have a flat line, aren't we? And it's going to be shaded up, aren't we? Now then, I'm going to help you set up the axes. So x is cars, always label your x and y axis. Y is candles. Now then on mine, if you zoom in, every 4 is kind of a darker. I'm going to use every 4 as being 100. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 100, 200, 300, 400. You should be able to graph both these lines. Remember, this line right here is just going to be a flat line through the 100, and you're going to shade up. Okay? So find out what part you need to shade. You will have a blast doing so. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Tomorrow we'll continue kind of doing a review on the inequalities. Have an amazing day. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.